Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into the Tekton website and checking out some more of the items that I believe are worth purchasing. Some of these are controversial or subjective depending on your needs and what you would be using these tools for. So I did a video, part one to this, where we went over quite a few items that I believe are still worth it, because I've been following and buying Tekton for almost 10 years now. And back in the day, they had some pretty bad tools, and they have came a long ways. Now in that, they've released really good tools, really good warranty. They've really put together a good company as far as the product that you're getting, the warranty that you get with the tools, especially with them basically being all online, and just all around a great tool company to consider when buying, whether you're a DIYer, weekend warrior, or a professional. They have a lot of stuff for basically everybody. But over the last 5 years, inflation has hit a lot, and I talked about this in the first video, but a lot of the stuff from Tekton has actually gone up in price beyond just cost of manufacturing and inflation and things like that. Some of the items have jumped up a significant amount. So before, I used to be able to go, if there was a tool I was in need of, one of my first thoughts was, I'll get it from Tekton. As long as Tekton has it, that's most likely who I'm going to get it from. Now, I still buy from Tekton, but I am much more selective on what I purchase from them. So not only did I release a video of tools that I believe you should still buy from Tekton because they're a good deal, I've also released a video, part one, of tools I don't believe are worth it, but some of those items are also depending on your situation, what you do, and if you would really get some use out of them. So this is part two of more items I believe you should buy, and we'll have a part two to a couple more items I don't believe are worth it. So let me know your guys' thoughts or experiences with Tekton down in the comments. First up on today's video, I want to talk about the impact sockets. So this one's controversial or subjective, because if you know what Tekton had before and their pricing before as far as impact sockets, in a certain way you can be truly disappointed, because they used to be able to pick it up at Meyer, but you could get a socket set of like 8 through 19 for, 30, 40 bucks. Some of the sets were $60. They had various smaller sets. You buy them basically in little blow molded cases like this, but they were just single rows, and it was either all shallows or all deep wells, and they ranged basically from $30 to $65, something around in there. And then they had the cheaper ones had skip sizes, and the more expensive ones had a larger range and no skips. So they had a good variety of extremely affordable impact sockets, and they held up very well. I believe even those were still chrome vanadium, and they held up really well. I know a lot of people that at that time, this was many years ago, that used and abused them constantly, and they just held up, and they were extremely affordable. Now they have redone all of their impact sockets, and now you look at their sets, they don't have small sets like they used to. They have much larger sets. You can get shallow and deep together. You can still get just shallow. You can get just deep. But the sets themselves are just much larger than they used to be. A lot more coverage. And all of their sets are no skip sets. So that's a plus. So this is going to be kind of a con for those that don't really care about no skip sets, because you're not really going to be able to find those cheaper options from Tekton anymore, because they just don't do skip sets. I'm okay with that. I don't like skip sizes, but I know plenty of people out there are okay with it, because there are those, probably 4 or 5 sockets in a set that a lot of weekend warriors, DIYers just won't really come across, but they just don't do that. So there's a cost difference there. But the other thing is their coverage now is a huge improvement. While I do not like the pricing of some of their larger sets, especially when you compare it to some of the competition out there, it is still a much more affordable option than, tool truck brand. But as far as weekend warriors, DIYers, some of the sets kind of can be pretty expensive, especially compared to what they used to be. So there's pros and cons to it. Pros being that you're going to get a no skip set. You're going to get really good coverage. And I will tell you this, I've looked for hours on Amazon looking for some pretty comparable sets to some of their larger, like their half-inch drive. This is their 87-piece set. You're not going to find another 87-piece set If you do, like, it might have multiple extensions and the sizes might go to 24. I've seen a couple of those, but this set goes all the way up to 32 millimeter in both shallow and deep, and 1.25 inches in the SAE. Now, the ones on Amazon, you might find a couple. I know Capri has one, I believe. Their SAE goes up to 1.25 inches, but their metric only goes up to 22 or 24, which it's a really good set, but it's like $100 or $150. This is $350, so quite a big jump, but there is huge coverage here. The only way you're going to get coverage like this from a lot of these other brands is to buy their sets individually, because they don't really put together big master sets like this. So I like that Tekton does offer that, because it's a huge assortment. Basically, you're going to have everything you need, especially with one of their newer products that they recently released, which is they've had this for chrome sockets, but this is new for the impact sockets, since they just released their 1/4 inch impact stuff. So they didn't offer 1/4 inch not too long ago. So this is their big set, 61-piece set, $155. So that's probably what a lot of people are buying, just 3/8 or a 1/2 inch drive impact socket set. While they are nowhere near the pricing they used to be, the coverage and offering what they have here is far beyond what they used to have. So I understand the price increase as far as the coverage, but the thing that really confused me, they never, when they redid all of their impact sockets, there are very, very few sockets that actually were switched to chromoly. The orange and the blue are going to be the chromoly, and the violet and yellow are the chrome vanadium. And so almost all of their impact sockets are still just chrome vanadium. A lot of the higher end impact sockets are chromoly. So it was weird to me that they did this. I'm not sure exactly the reasoning behind it, but then their universal joint and their adapter are chromoly. So that was weird to me. Maybe it was money savings on their side. Maybe they were just comfortable selling chrome vanadium over chromoly. I don't know. So this 3-piece bundle is going to include all 3 of their largest, basically their master sets for each drive size. So it is $650, which is kind of spendy. Probably really good if you're getting into the professional field. This is going to basically cover everything that you need. Not great compared to their old pricing. Huge increase in pricing compared to what they used to be, but a huge increase in coverage. Quality basically stayed the same as what they used to be, with a few additional features of that neck down portion and the stamping along with the engraving. So definitely pros and cons to it, but I think it's a really good buy for those that need that large coverage and a lot of it in all 3 drive sizes. But I want to say, I did the math, it's somewhere around $700, close to $750 if you buy these 3 sets individually. So there is a decent amount of savings here buying the bundle. Next up, they have their extensions. I think these are a good option. Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't even know they had locking extensions or wobble plus extensions. I knew they had extensions. I have plenty of their socket sets that include the extensions. I'm on the Tekton website all the time. I'm looking at Tekton tools all the time. But they kind of basically, if you're just looking at their socket sets, you see what's included, but it's not very common to just see their extensions. So you actually have to go under the hand drive section and select socket accessories to find their extensions. So here you can see the locking sleeve. This is the 3-inch. They have it available in 6 and 9-inch. This is just for the 1/4 inch drive, and it's $7. The 6-inch is $8. The 9-inch is $11. So for a quality locking extension, I don't think that's bad at all. And they do have sets available as well. And once again, the Tekton website shows a huge amount of information on every single tool that they release. So lots of details, lots of information. If you're ever wondering, they cover what it's made out of, what they can handle, their assembly, overall dimensions, a lot of information on every single product. But here, like, they have the 1/4 inch drive, just the extensions, the standard extensions. And then they have a locking extension set, all 3 of them for $22. Then they have it available in 3/8 as well and 1/2 inch. And then they even have 3/4 inch. But I honestly did not know that they had wobble extensions. and they are a Wobble Plus style extension. And here you can see it does have that squared off base at the bottom. A lot of these cheaper extensions that imitate the Wobble Plus, that square base isn't exaggerated enough, and a lot of the times the socket will easily pop off of that square base, so it doesn't stay in that just standard extension mode. Basically, it wants to fall into the wobble feature. And so when I look at Wobble Plus extensions like this, I look for ones with a good square base, so I know I can use them as just a normal extension, but also have that slight angle when necessary. And this is one of the better ones that I've seen. There are a lot of them out there that don't do a good job of that. Also, keep in mind, not all of them out there are Wobble Plus style. Some extensions are just wobble. Some of them won't have the square base at all. So just keep that in mind if that's something that you're looking for. But here you can see in the wobble position, you get 7.5 degrees, and then your straight position as well. So I do think they have really good pricing on these, especially for the sets. So I think that is another good option for 3 different styles of extensions for multiple different drive sizes. Then next one is going to be a debatable one, or, subjective, just depending on your thoughts or preferences or what's convenient to you. So I actually had a couple people comment in some of my previous videos about the Tekton and the Icon because they are very similar in pricing as far as their reversible ratcheting wrenches. And so the Icon one of the similar design is going to come in that, snap-on look-alike blow molded tray, and so I selected this one with the Ernst wrench organizer. Otherwise, you can save $10 and just get the wrenches here, but I figure the Icon comes with an organizer, so I'll select this one. This one has, and this is their smaller of their 2 sets. They have 6 to 19, and then they have 6 to 22, and then you can get larger as well. But when it just comes to this is the best one compared to the Icon one that we have here at $160, and this is the tray that it's going to come in. So this one's at $160. It's going to be 6 through 19 with the modular organizer, and this is Tekton's newer design with the nickel plated instead of the chrome finish. It's kind of that satin brushed look, which that's all personal preference. It doesn't bother me one way or another as long as, the coating holds up and doesn't start chipping off. That's perfectly fine. Now, one thing I will say, there's pros and cons to each. The Tekton is going to have better coverage for the price. They're both 72 tooth designs, I believe, if I remember correctly. But the Icon is going to have more length. The Tekton is going to have your standard open end, where the Icon is going to have an anti-slip feature. So it depends on if that's something that you're looking for, or if you prefer a wrench with just the standard design. If you want something with extra length, I don't think Tekton really offers a long version of these wrenches without going to the long double box end, but at the same prices. But the Tekton is going to have a much bigger coverage, where the Icon has that anti-slip feature and the extra length. So here's just kind of a look at some of the information that they share. 15-degree offset, 12-point box end instead of the old ratcheting wrenches from Tekton that used to be 6-point, but they've discontinued all of those. The reversible feature, satin chrome finish, the modular organizer. Wrenches are made in Taiwan. Modular organizer is made in the USA. It's an Ernst original. 6 through 19 for the Tekton set, and the Icon is going to be, as far as coverage, we're looking at 10, I believe, 10 to 19. Yes, 10 to 19. Both sets, no skips. So similar prices, just depending on what your needs are. I definitely still think they have a lot of good options. I don't think all of their wrenches or wrench sets are worth it, but I do think they still have some good ones. This one of them that I've owned for many, many years, and it's been very good. I also have the stubbies. I bought this set here, both metric and SAE, with the metric stubbies and SAE stubbies for the $110 price. So it was a really good deal back then. They haven't changed these since then. Still really good fitment and finish. So they have gone up, a little bit since you don't get the stubbies included with this, but I don't think it's terrible. It's at $190 now. So I still think that's a good price, especially in today's market. So they definitely still have some really good sets for a really good price, but they also have some that can get quite expensive. Those are just a few items I believe are worth it from Tekton. Part 2. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, please let me know down in the comments. If you guys have really good experiences with some of their tools, please let me know what tools you guys have great experiences with, or if you guys have had bad experiences with any, please let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate your guys' input. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that thumbs up, and if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.